What if a company that makes steel pipes and forgings for your buildings and cars just quietly became a defense manufacturer? Today, we're breaking down Goodluck India's Q1 FY27 earnings. This is a company currently valued at a market cap of around 5,094 crore rupees, and the numbers we're about to walk through explain exactly why this stock has been catching investor attention. Stick with me till the end, because this is not just another earnings update. This is a transformation story. Let's start with the headline numbers. Goodluck India reported revenue of 1,292 crore rupees for the quarter, up 31% year-on-year. Profit after tax, or PAT, came in at 67.2 crore rupees, a jump of 67% compared to the same quarter last year. That's profit growing more than double the pace of revenue, which is always a signal worth paying attention to. The EBITDA margin expanded to 10.81%, up 110 basis points from last year. And on the shareholder front, the company has approved a 2:1 bonus issue. We'll unpack every one of these numbers as we go. Let's trace how this profit was actually built, layer by layer. Total income for the quarter stood at 1,292.2 crore rupees. From there, EBITDA came in at 139.6 crore rupees. Profit before tax, or PBT, was 88.3 crore rupees, which is a massive 45.8% surge year-on-year. And finally, profit after tax landed at 67.2 crore rupees, up 67.4% year-on-year. What's driving this engine? The document points to two things: 8.8% volume growth and a capacity utilization rate of 98%. And here's the most important line on this slide. These are clean earnings, 100% operational, with zero reliance on one-off gains. This isn't profit inflated by an asset sale or a tax refund. This is the core business firing on all cylinders. Now let's answer the obvious question. Why did EBITDA margins expand by 110 basis points? Margins moved from 9.71% in Q1 FY26 to 10.81% in Q1 FY27. The document breaks this down into three drivers. The first is product mix, a strategic shift toward higher margin, value-added engineered products rather than basic commodity output. The second is operating leverage, fixed costs being efficiently absorbed because the company is running at 98% capacity utilization, meaning more output is spread across the same fixed cost base. And the third is debt efficiency. The effective interest burden is dropping relative to the company's now much larger revenue scale. Together, these three factors explain why profitability is improving faster than revenue itself. So where does all this revenue actually come from? Goodluck India runs a diversified business, and this slide breaks it into 5 segments. The largest chunk, 31%, comes from CR sheet, pipes and tubes, serving general engineering and government infrastructure projects. The second largest, 26%, comes from precision pipes and auto tubes, supplying auto OEMs and boiler manufacturers. 20% comes from engineering structures used in high-speed rail and solar projects. 17% comes from forgings, which serve the aerospace and oil and gas industries. And then there's the smallest slice on the chart, just 6%, but it's highlighted separately for a reason: defense. The document labels this the new growth vector, artillery shells. Small today, but this is the segment the entire bullish narrative is built around, and that's exactly what we're covering next. This is the heart of the transformation story. Goodluck India has set up a dedicated defense and aerospace arm called Goodluck Defense and Aerospace, or GDAO. Phase 1 of this plan is already complete, with a manufacturing capacity of 1.5 lakh shells per year. Phase 2 has a much bigger target, 4 lakh shells per year. On the certification front, the company has already secured DGQA approval. That's the Directorate General of Quality Assurance, for 155mm M107 artillery shells. This certification matters because without it, a defense manufacturer simply cannot supply to the armed forces. And on the commercial side, the company already has 307.20 crore rupees worth of fresh, confirmed orders in its book. So this isn't a plan on paper anymore. It's a capacity that's built, certified, and already generating order flow.
The second growth pillar is exports. Export revenue surged 53% year-on-year. As a result, exports now make up 29% of the company's total revenue, up from 25% in FY25. Why does this matter beyond just growth? The document calls out global reach. Goodluck India now has a footprint across more than 100 countries. A wide geographic spread like this helps protect margins because the company isn't dependent on any single market's demand cycle or currency movement. Combine this export engine with the defense pivot we just covered, and you start to see two very different growth stories running in parallel inside the same company.
Let's zoom into how efficiently this business is actually running. Capacity utilization is at 98%, which the document describes as running hot, and that's exactly what's driving the massive operating leverage we talked about earlier. Total installed capacity stands at 5 lakh metric tons per annum, split between 285,000 tons of value-added products and 215,000 tons of standard products, again reinforcing that shift toward the higher margin end of the business. And on the tax and governance side, the effective tax rate is a stable 23.88%, alongside what the document describes as a clean auditor opinion. Stable tax rates and clean audits might not sound exciting, but for a company scaling this fast, they're exactly the kind of quiet, boring details that reduce risk for investors.
Now, let's talk price, because growth means nothing if you're overpaying for it. On a price-to-book basis, the stock trades at around 3.42 times, measured against its March 2026 net worth. On a trailing basis, using FY26 earnings, the stock trades at a PE of around 27.9 times. But here's the number that matters most. If you annualize the Q1 FY27 run rate, meaning you take this quarter's profit and project it across the full year, the PE compresses to around 18.9 times. The insight here is straightforward. That massive 67% year-on-year PAT growth in just this one quarter is doing the heavy lifting. It's pulling the forward valuation multiple down sharply. In simple terms, if this pace of profit growth continues, the stock could be far cheaper on a forward basis than it looks on trailing numbers.
Beyond the operating numbers, the company has also made some direct moves to reward shareholders. First, a 2:1 bonus issue has been approved. That means 2 additional bonus shares for every 1 share currently held. This typically rewards long-term holders and improves stock liquidity by increasing the number of shares in circulation. Second, a final dividend payout of 9.97 crore rupees has been recommended for FY26. And third, basic earnings per share, or EPS, surged 51.5% year-on-year to 19.13 rupees. Put together, rising profits, a bonus issue, and a dividend, this is a company translating operational growth directly into shareholder returns.
Now, no earnings story is complete without looking at the risks, and there are 3 worth flagging here. The first is raw materials. Volatility in hot-rolled coil and steel input spreads could impact near-term margins, since steel is a core input for most of Goodluck's product lines. The second is execution risk. The document is direct about this. The stock's bullish narrative heavily relies on the strict timing of the Phase 2 defense capacity ramp-up, from 1.5 lakh shells to 4 lakh shells per year. Any delay in that ramp-up could directly affect how the market prices this growth story. And the third is geopolitics. With exports now at 29% of revenue, the company is sensitive to global trade routes and tariffs. Changes in international trade policy could directly impact this growing export engine.
So let's bring this all together. Point 1. The core business is operating at peak efficiency, with 98% capacity utilization. Point 2. Margins are structurally expanding, driven by a shift toward value-added engineering. Point 3. The defense sector entry gives the company high-margin, scalable optionality for future growth. And point 4.
valuations look visibly cheaper when you look at the annualized forward PE of 18.9 times rather than the trailing 27.9 times. That's the complete picture: strong execution today and a defense-driven growth lever for tomorrow.
Here's the question this quarter really raises. Is Goodluck India's defense pivot enough to justify its recent run-up in the stock price? Drop your view in the comments below. We'd genuinely like to know where you stand on this one.
That wraps up our Q1 FY27 breakdown of Goodluck India. And if you found this earnings deep dive helpful, don't forget to like, save, and share this video. Follow and subscribe to ZinvestZ for more smart investing insights. Thanks for tuning in.